Hey, if you're crossing a river, it doesn't do any good to stop in the middle. That's from Rickety. Hi, Randy Becker here, with more pondering about one of the points to ponder from spiritual persistence. What is it about change that is so hard? When things start to change, I usually try to dig in and hold on to what was. Ironically, sometimes what was is not all that great, but at least it's familiar. Do you relate to this reaction to change? It's a common one. So how do we put this into perspective? Because without change, there is no participation in the movement from individualized separation into fulfillment into all that is. Avoiding change, staying the same, is denying our potential for moving toward greater spiritual complexity. Wow, that's a ton of talk. What does it mean? For me, the problem with change is my focus on loss. What am I going to lose through this change? Not, what am I going to gain through this change? Every change is a transaction, losing something but potentially gaining something. So if I'm honest, what I worry about is that I will lose more than I will gain, that the change will be too small, not too big, that in the end, after the change, I'll feel like I have a net loss. What I fear is not that the change will be too big, but that it will be too small, leaving me bereft but not rewarded. Here's what Rickety said about this that triggered my reflections. Now about change. Most people resist change, but one thing worse is getting shortchanged, and that is what you get when you resist the natural change. If change is to come into your life, embrace it all. You don't want just some. For example, my death without this. Too many, finding themselves in change, stop halfway and say, I can't take any more. Hey, if you're crossing a river, it doesn't do any good to stop in the middle. So realize that the great fear is really that it won't change enough, and that fear keeps us from being open to enough change. I'm smart. Those who suffer change don't let it play out, like people who have to leave somewhere or something and then don't reestablish themselves elsewhere or with something else. You haven't let it play out when the pain of loss is greater than the reward of change. Like when you're getting change and you tell you're getting shorted, but then at last the needed dollar drops and the equation is equal. Then you can walk away and balance. Look, if each time you had a transaction you lost a dime, it might not seem like much, but each year you'd be down a couple $100. And that is also what some do. They let themselves get shortchanged just a wee little tad and say it's okay. But over time they lose lots and don't know why they feel so shortchanged by life. So go. Come and join in the conversation about this and so much more at sp-blog.org. Look forward to seeing you there.